No matter who you are a fan of, please subscribe to support me. Thank you, love you all very much. Who would win? Hela or Thanos? In a showdown between Hela and Thanos, MCU version, Hela would likely win because she is the goddess of death with superior physical strength, the ability to summon weapons from thin air, Necroswords, and regenerative powers, making her more dominant than Thanos, who typically relies only on physical strength and durability, especially when Thanos doesn't have the Infinity Gauntlet. Thanos is portrayed as a being with absolute power and endurance that far exceeds any normal standards in the universe. His survival after expending all his energy to destroy the 6 Infinity Stones demonstrated his almost immeasurable power limit. Ebony Maw once asserted that, at that time in the MCU, only Thanos had the ability to wield multiple Infinity Stones simultaneously without suffering severe consequences. During confrontations, Thanos consistently overpowered Doctor Strange's sophisticated magic and high-intensity attacks. Even the most advanced magical defenses were directly breached, clearly showing a significant power-level disparity. Furthermore, Thanos easily destroyed Iron Man's advanced armor, which was designed to withstand tremendous impacts infused with divine energy from Stormbreaker and Mjolnir. The pinnacle of this power was demonstrated when he crushed the Tesseract, an object that had survived the complete destruction of Asgard and continued to exist in the events of What If. Thanos' strength isn't just physical, it also lies in his absolute stability and energy control. Every action he takes is executed with high precision, showing no signs of losing control even when facing immense pressure from supreme power sources, surpassing all previously seen opponents. Even when enduring the recoil from the Infinity Stones, Thanos' existence remained incredibly stable. He didn't collapse immediately or fall into chaos. Instead, he maintained clear awareness and unwavering resolve. Thanos demonstrated superior defensive and counter-attacking capabilities, easily fending off a direct attack from Captain Marvel even after the Infinity Stones were destroyed. In a severely weakened energy state, he still maintained incredible strength, enough to perform absolutely overwhelming actions. A clear example is how Thanos used only the force of his fingers to tear through the vibranium plating covering Vision's head, a material widely considered almost indestructible. Thanos' ability to unleash power reached a planetary destruction scale, allowing him to bend the fabric of reality, manipulate the flow of time, and control space at the ultimate level. With just a snap of his fingers, he caused the eradication of half of all life in the entire universe. Even without the Infinity Stones, Thanos still demonstrated perfect self-preservation by crushing the Tesseract with one hand, an accomplishment evaluated at a national destruction level. Thanos completely overwhelmed post-Sakaar Hulk, defeating his opponent in a short amount of time with superior strength and technique. He destroyed vibranium multiple times without encountering any significant obstacles. Thanos' reaction speed allowed him to promptly counter repulsor blasts from Iron Man and photon blasts from Captain Marvel, energy that travels at the speed of light. With just a single blow, Thanos shattered Doctor Strange's Tau Mandalas, paving the way for destructive energy to penetrate a previously inhabited world. His attacks were also powerful enough to make the 2023 version of Thor bleed, which rarely happens. Thanos completely dominated the battle against Iron Man, Mark 50, and simultaneously withstood combined attacks from Iron Man, Captain America, with Mjolnir, Hulk, and Captain Marvel. Even a critical blow from Thor's Stormbreaker, which had overpowered the energy flow from 6 Infinity Stones, couldn't finish him. More remarkably, Thanos was the only Avenger able to move within Quicksilver's perception range, thereby demonstrating superior speed compared to Iron Man and Captain America, and reacting promptly to Pietro. This solidifies Thanos' position as a benchmark for comprehensive power, combining physical strength, speed, durability, and supreme combat control. Next up, we have Hela. Hela is portrayed as a war entity with overwhelming power, deeply connected to Asgard's ancient might. In her very first appearance, Hela directly caught Mjolnir and shattered the legendary hammer with her bare hands. While that act might have been influenced by Hela's deep connection to Mjolnir, the moment still solidified her superior standing compared to the contemporary Asgardian warriors. Before Thor reached his awakened state, Hela demonstrated absolute dominance, effortlessly subduing Thor's entire body with just one arm, rendering all his attempts to resist utterly futile. Hela also displayed incredible resilience against Thor's lightning attacks. These divine energy bolts, powerful enough to flatten battlefields, failed to inflict any significant damage, showcasing her extremely high durability and power absorption capabilities. However, Hela's most dangerous ability wasn't her close-quarters combat strength, but her capacity to create and unleash destructive obsidian spikes imbued with dark magic. These weapons formed instantly, possessed immense density and piercing power, enough to injure Thor, pierce Surtur's body, and cut through Asgardian steel as if it were ordinary material. Hela also possessed self-regeneration abilities far beyond familiar limits. Every wound rapidly regenerated, leaving almost no trace of weakening. Hela's power source was directly linked to Asgard, making her even stronger when present on that land. The combination of her physical strength, magical weaponry, regenerative capabilities, and seemingly endless energy transformed Hela into an icon of war and destruction. Hela demonstrated superior offensive power, effortlessly slicing through Scourge's Uru armor without encountering any significant resistance. Hela's destructive blows were even capable of showing signs of damage to Surtur's eternal flame. This very power made Hela a serious threat to Odin, even when the Asgardian king's might was still fully present. Even in a weakened state, Hela still reacted to Mjolnir in time, directly blocking the weapon's flight path and preventing its return to Thor. Immediately afterward, the Uru hammer was completely destroyed, affirming Hela's absolute control over divine weapons once considered untouchable. Hela's reaction speed allowed her to keep pace with lightning attacks and maintain an even combat rhythm with Thor throughout their confrontation. Hela's most terrifying aspect was her ability to completely disregard physical damage. Piercing or slashing wounds caused no lasting effects, as regeneration occurred almost instantaneously. Even when directly impaled, her reaction was virtually non-existent, and signs of injury vanished instantly. This held true for attacks from Asgardian forces, the Valkyries, and even direct blows from Thor while wielding Gungnir. Even the most powerful lightning streams ever unleashed couldn't make Hela flinch. Hela's presence on the battlefield was absolutely overwhelming. There's no clear evidence that Surtur ever truly defeated or overpowered Hela in direct combat. The combination of her offensive power, reaction speed, regenerative abilities, and extraordinary endurance pushed Hela beyond all combat norms. On the Asgardian battlefield, Hela dominated not just with her power, but with absolute ruthlessness, rendering all attempts at resistance meaningless. The 2014 version of Thanos was portrayed as a force that transcended the limits of time and space to defeat the Avengers and continue his grand plan. Previously, Thanos' danger level was often associated with the Infinity Gauntlet and the ultimate power of the stones. However, reality proved that even without the gauntlet, Thanos was still an absolute threat with just a sword in hand. In the decisive battle, he overwhelmingly crushed the combined might of Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor. Even with Captain America wielding Mjolnir, Thanos quickly adapted, broke through their offense, and shattered the vibranium shield. Thanos' speed, strength, and combat control far surpassed the Avengers' ability to keep up, rendering all their resistance efforts fragmented and ineffective. In parallel, the confrontation between Hela and Thor also painted a clear picture of their power disparity. An unawakened Thor fought valiantly and showed an unyielding spirit. But Hela still proved herself to be a superior warrior, capable of directly facing even the strongest lightning bolts. At that time, Thor did not possess Mjolnir or Stormbreaker for assistance, and was forced to use an unfamiliar weapon that did not provide a significant power boost. Even so, Thor did manage to bring Hela down for a brief moment. She quickly recovered and continued her assault until a powerful lightning strike forced her to temporarily retreat from the fight. This showcased Thor's immense potential even before reaching his peak. However, Thor, even with Stormbreaker and his seasoned experience with lightning, could not defeat Thanos in the final battle. This contrast highlighted Thanos as a more comprehensive force in terms of strength, skill, and adaptability, creating a profound impression of a superior battlefield dominator. The view that Thor in Endgame became too weak and completely lost his form is not entirely accurate. While Thor clearly didn't reach the explosive state seen in Love and Thunder, that doesn't mean his strength or combat abilities significantly declined. In fact, Thor retained a solid foundation of power, along with extensive combat experience accumulated through countless fierce battles. Stormbreaker. This weapon was not merely a supporting tool, but also served to amplify Thor's overall power to an entirely different level. Stormbreaker allowed Thor to channel lightning with greater precision, create more destructive force, and expand his control over the battlefield. With Stormbreaker, Thor clearly held a significant advantage over Hela in a direct confrontation, especially given the weapon's continuous piercing and suppressive capabilities. However, Thanos possessed incredible speed for his massive physique, combined with superior combat intelligence that allowed him to anticipate and handle multiple opponents simultaneously. Thanos' blows carried weight comparable to the Hulk's, creating immense pressure in close-quarters combat. His sword was sharp enough to cut through vibranium, demonstrating extremely dangerous piercing potential. With such abilities, confronting and neutralizing Hela's relentless attacks would be entirely feasible, similar to how he once blocked Thor's lightning and knocked Mjolnir away. Thanos is not an opponent to be underestimated. He represents a level of threat capable of putting an end to any force that dares to take his power lightly. Hela was very strong, but she did not display any physical abilities on Thanos' level. It's true, she overpowered Thor, but Thanos did the same, multiple times. She also possessed regenerative abilities, but we didn't truly see her recover from anything beyond a stab wound. She also wasn't as durable as Thanos. They weren't even in the same league. She was pierced by regular Asgardian weapons, Gungnir and Valkyrie's sword. Thor even needed to create a weapon specifically to harm Thanos. Thor even stated that facing Thanos without that axe would get him killed, and that a Thanos-killing weapon would kill mortals who tried to wield it. This implies that he wouldn't be harmed by the things that injured her, and also that her blades likely wouldn't do anything to him. So, what we have is that Thanos is stronger than Hela, he has better durability, he can harm her, and her attacks would do little to no damage to him. We also have the intent clearly stated both in and outside of the films. It would be a tough fight for him, but Thanos would typically emerge victorious. So guys, that's it for now. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. Love you much.